Okay. Hello, everybody. I know it's been forever. Sorry about the long delays. It's just been a whole process. So to kind of pick up from where we left off, last time we had an update, we had just done the transfer. We did transfer 2 embryos, which was super exciting. We came home from New York, and then we had a waiting period. We had to wait and wait, what seemed like forever. So
How many days we wait?
Well, it was supposed to be 2 weeks, but it ended up being, 11 days?
11 days.
So we did have one appointment in between now and then. We had a blood work appointment to kind of just see how my levels were growing. Everything was great. They said my levels had increased. They were definitely going in the right direction. So we actually decided, drum roll, to do a test. At home, a home pregnancy test. That is not recommended. I actually agree. You should not do a home pregnancy test. It just stresses you out.
On day 7, we did a pregnancy test at home. It was negative. We researched it. It could be too early. It could not be too early. But it definitely played with our heads a little bit.
Completely. We try not to get discouraged, but in the back of our head, well, I know my head, I was kind of like, uh-oh.
I personally felt like we're pregnant.
So, but I will say this. So going throughout the process, you do go through several different, phases of pregnancy or symptoms of pregnancy. I guess symptoms is the better word. So I would feel nausea, but it could have just been from the meds. So I was like, I don't know if I'm nausea because pregnancy or if I'm nausea because I'm sick or if it's the meds. But yeah, definitely felt nausea, and you feel cramping. So implementation cramping is the thing. Basically, when the embryos are trying to stick to your uterus lining, you do start to feel cramped because the baby's trying to stick. So yeah, we went through that whole phase. I laid around a lot, didn't do too much of anything, just walking, and that's about it. Trying to make sure I stuck to keto somewhat, but not really completely. But fast forward, we then had our beta day last Wednesday. Beta day is the day that they check your HCG levels. HCG is the hormone that determines if you're pregnant. So that morning we woke up and we said...
First of all, we didn't get any sleep the night before. Just, anxious because we had already agreed we were going to wake up that morning and take a home pregnancy test and then go to the doctor's appointment, just because we were impatient. We knew the results were going to probably take all day. So wake up about 6 o'clock in the morning. She takes 2 tests. Two.
And unfortunately, they were both negative. So instantly that morning, I think right when that happened, I was just in tears. I was already like, okay, so another failure is how I felt. But Tara was still optimistic. So obviously we go to Nashville Fertility Clinic where we're doing our monitoring, and they drew my blood. So we had talked to the nurse while we were there. She was like, hey, so did you guys cheat at all? And we're like, yeah, we took a home test. And she's like, what did it say? What did it say? And we're like, negative. She was like, oh. She was like,
language told it all.
Yeah.
She said we definitely should have gotten a positive test by now. But it still is a slight chance that you could get a false negative. So a part of me was still optimistic. She was broken immediately. In her mind, she knew it was a wrap. But to me, it was like, it's not a wrap till the doctor call and say you're not pregnant. A lot of people, get negative tests at home. They don't mean anything. In my head, I guess I was a little naive. Because like I said, in my gut, it felt like we was pregnant. To me, I didn't stress about it at all, really, during the whole process. It felt like we was pregnant. We did all the things that we were told to do, followed all the instructions doctors gave us, took our meds like we were supposed to, weren't active, like we were supposed to. So you just assume that you do everything you're supposed to do right, that it's going to turn out in your favor. We were wrong. Raina took the news very hard. She was angry. I, on the other hand, I'm used to kind of getting knocked down, so to me, the get back up was a little bit easier for her. She's, don't understand why. Me on the other hand, I'm like, because it's just not God's time, and it was kind of simple for me and really complex for her. So that alone for us was hard to deal with, you know, because I'm processing it in a more of a positive light. She's processing it personally, you know, kind of blames her body in a way.
Definitely.
Took it very personal.
I will say this whole process, it will mess with your mental. I was angry, I was mad, I was sad, I was depressed, you name an emotion, I felt it. I literally, I remember talking to another girl that went through IVF, and she said she felt like her body betrayed her. I definitely had that feeling. Because in my head, I'm healthy, I eat well, I pretty much vegetarian, I've done everything. I gave myself all these shots every single day. My stomach was bloated, it was bruised, my butt's bruised. The medication causes knots to form in your butt, had all of that. And I'm like, what else am I doing wrong? So I was crying constantly. Like it was just hard to kind of just keep going.
We're still processing it. I mean, even just discussing it now has me emotional because, you know, the clock is ticking for me. You know, I'm 39. I don't want to be 45 trying to play with a 3-year-old. So that's the reality for me. You know, I have what 5 years on you. I have 5 years on her. So the reality for her is a little bit different. But the next steps, we have one embryo left. Supposedly a good embryo at that. So we go back to the drawing board. We had a consult with the doctor from the New York facility today. He gave us a lot of information. Felt like we just need to do everything that we did the first time because everything seemed to be right. It just didn't happen for whatever reason. So we're gonna take a couple of different steps, but same medication for her.
We're adding in a few things. We're doing an HCG wash, which is basically where they go in and wash my uterus, just to make sure everything can easily pass through, make sure there's no issues. So they'll do a HCG wash. They're going to do some booster medications, which basically just amps up everything I've already done, and one other wash, which basically he mentioned where they kind of take like my blood, they pull out all the healthy plasmas, and then kind of put it back into my uterus to make sure everything is completely healthy on that end.
So the goal is to do it during her next cycle, after her next cycle. So we're looking at the end of October. So we get a month to kind of not really grieve, but just process what has happened and kind of prepare, if that's even possible, for what can happen on this next transfer with the last egg. Worst case scenario, if the egg does not stick this time, I will go through IVF again to produce more eggs. So we're looking at a lot of money and a lot of patience, a lot of faith. We're gonna need a lot of support. It's not easy, and I know it's not easy for heterosexual couples, but it's a lot easier to lay in your bed and not have to pay nothing and screw your partner than have to keep going to all these doctor's visits, and it's fee after fee after fee after fee. You know, it's a lot.
And just to kind of include y'all in on the fees, an ultrasound is not covered. It's $250. We have to go get ultrasounds every 6 days.
Yeah, I was going every other day.
Yeah, she had to go every other day. I have to go every 6 days. So if they do ultrasound, it's $250. If they do blood work, it's $210.
Yeah. So every time we go in, even though we're there 5 minutes and they're doing the bare minimum, would come out of pocket at least $200. So and like I said,
and insurance doesn't cover it.
Insurance doesn't cover anything. So this is just, you know, straight hustle. It is what it is. But the brighter side is we are two working women. We do have stable incomes and hustles on top of that, to where we're able to do this. So that is the brighter side of things. So we don't have to financially stress. You know, some couples have to, you know, do that, and that's, you know, one of the blessings. I just want to make sure Rayna was aware of them. At least we have the money. At least we do have each other. At least we do have one more egg. It's so many blessings in front of us, but we still got some obstacles to overcome, and only God knows, you know, where we gonna end up at. So we just on a ride right now. We're on a ride.
all we can ask, continued prayers. Thank y'all for supporting us. We ain't giving up. So Baby Smith will get here, just God's timing. I've said it before, but trying to say it out loud to make myself believe it. I'm not saying I'm losing hope. I'm not saying I'm losing faith. But when you go through certain things in life, it have you questioning some stuff. And not intentionally, but we're human. So it's not easy, not an easy process at all. So if you see us and we're not looking like our normal self, then just know we're trying to cope. But thanks for the continued support, continued prayers. And sorry it took us so long to update. It's just a whole journey.
Well, it ain't really been that long. It hasn't even been a week since we found out, but quite, expected when you invite people into your home and tell them the things that you're going through. Quite naturally, everybody's asked, are you guys pregnant? Are you guys pregnant? And it comes across, insensitive, but it's not, because we open that door for you guys to get a front row seat of what we're going through. So we kind of put ourselves out there. So we just got to accept it. Whether it's good news or bad news, y'all are expecting some news. So wasn't any point of delaying it. It is what it is. We went back to the drawing board. We got plans, and we're gonna move forward. So we got 30 days. We got 30 days, and hopefully this egg sticks. If it don't, then I guess I just go through the IVF process again. That's just our life.
Right.
That's it.
That's it.
That's all.
Right.